I recently had an interesting question asked by an email I received from a fighter kiting fan, and it was asking about why it is that North American fighter kites have what appears to be a relatively limited range of wind speeds that they can fly well in and perform well within. It's a good question. Why is that? Well, North American fighter kites are typically made using a bow material of solid carbon fiber rod. This is one right here. Now, the carbon fiber is a wonderful material for a fighter kite bow. It's lightweight, very durable, strong, relatively uniform in the way that it flexes along its length, and relatively inexpensive and readily available online. But it does have one drawback, if you want to call it that. And that is that as it bends, see, what you want in a fighter kite is as the bow flexes, you want the resistance or the springiness in the bow to increase as it is under tension. And a carbon fiber bow will do that. A fiberglass bow will do it to a lesser degree. But both of those materials, fiberglass and carbon fiber, when they reach a certain point of deflection or bending, which would be caused by the wind pressure against the sail of the kite, and that could be caused by just the wind speed itself, the wind speed, or it could be caused by the wind speed in combination with your retrieving your flying line, the combination of that. But whatever the reason, when that particular kite is deflecting the bow or changing the bow shape radically, the bow no longer provides additional resistance with additional flexing. In fact, the resistance is diminished often. So at a particular point, and it's true on every piece of carbon fiber rod, and this will occur. At this point, we call the fighter kite being overpowered by the wind, meaning that the bow in the kite no longer can function as it's supposed to with the wind pressure against the sail. It can't do it. The wind pressure is too great. Now, to compensate for that, fighter kite makers of North American fighter kites use different diameters of carbon fiber. The larger the diameter, the greater stiffness or springiness the material has. So in a kite that's designed for stronger winds, it would have a bow made of a larger diameter carbon fiber rod, or fiberglass if fiberglass is what you're using. Now these rods are very small in diameter, called microcarbon in most of the places where you can buy them online. 0.05 inches in diameter is one size. It's a common size for light wind kites. In stronger wind, a common size is 0.05 0.59 inches in diameter, or 1.5 millimeters. Another is 0.06 inches in diameter and 0.7 and 2 millimeters. Those are all very, very small diameters, but yet each one stiffer than the other, meaning that it will endure a greater amount of pressure against the sail before it deflects. Now, when the kite is in the air, it has to deflect a little bit, enough to create a sort of like a channel along its spine so that it can track in a straight line. Now, if it doesn't do that, if the bow is too stiff for that particular wind speed, then the kite will not fly. On the other hand, if the bow is too soft or too flexible, it will deflect to the point where the kite also won't fly well. So this is the reason North American fighter kites have a wind range that is the optimal for a particular diameter of carbon fiber and a length of the bow or size of the kite. Those two factors, the diameter of the bow and the size of the kite, really determine what wind speed is going to be optimum to fly this kite in.